Hello, it's Rydo, and we are back to play even more Hearthstone. If you've been watching the past couple of days' uploads, you will know that I'm just recording these recordings in a row, trying to get a little bit ahead, have a bit of a backlog. So, what we've got as our one quest is um, 3 more victories with Hunter or Mage. Last recording we got 2 wins with the Mage and no wins with the Hunter. It's Hunter's turn, let's play. What is now occurring to me, as this is the 3rd recording in a row, just back to back, is that every 3 days you get more quests. So, in theory, I need to play like on Mondays and well, it's not even specific days because there's 7 days in a week.
I will hunt you down.
I need to play every 3 days. So if I do 3 recordings every 3 days, I should be fine. That still leaves a little bit of a room where I need to have 1 more recording on top of those 3 recordings every 3 days if I want to get a little bit ahead. So just 1 more recording every now and then. So this seems to be working out.
Job's done.
Pretty well. I also have to, if I'm gonna only do 3 recordings though, I have to make significant progress in each recording. It doesn't mean I have to get at least 1 quest done every recording, but if I've done 3 recordings and not done 3 quests, then, well, it's gonna be a bit of a waste. I guess if that happens, that's when the extra recording will come in. Probably should have done another hour. This is exactly minutes after the last recording. I probably should break it up. Take a little bit of break. Let the fingers rest a little bit. Let the throat rest. Throat's doing worse than the fingers are, although the fingers are gonna start being a problem pretty fast. I'm not saying I'm like a football player or anything and I get torn ACLs playing video games, but you do kind of suffer when you play as much as I play. I'll see, I can bring this guy out. Good chance that it's the one I want, but not a guaranteed chance. There's a 4/4 with taunt that you can summon. We saw that on one of the previous recordings. Twice in a row I used this, got a 4/4 with taunt. Pretty good summon.
Mind if I roll need?
Deal 3 damage to 2 random enemies. Don't want to do the 2 damage quite yet. Let's get rid of this guy. See what happens. Freezing trap, send them back. Well, that's a shame. Well, still don't want to quite get rid of this guy. So now this, what was a 3 mana, costs 5 mana. That's permanent. No way to get around it. Of course, all my spells are going to cost 5 more. So I can put this one with taunt up for 5. And that's all I can do. There are a couple cards that are like 12 mana or 11 mana above the maximum 10 mana that you can actually use, and they have modifiers on them that say like the number of damage you've taken lowers the mana cost by 1, or the number of cards in your hand lowers the mana cost by 1.
I'll show them. I'll show them all. I'll show them. I'll show them all.
He must have a pretty secret heavy deck if he's got 2 more secrets after already playing 1. Let's see. Ideally, I'd want these 2 guys to get hit.
To my side. Job's done.
Other friendly minions have +1 attack. If this one survives, that might be useful. Could have brought the core hound out. He's playing a lot of cards to beat me, but he is beating me. He's not coming at me as directly as I probably would want. He's doing a lot of roundabout things. Let's see. Let's see what this gives us.
Job's done.
Oh, got a couple of creatures. How much damage does he have? He has 10 damage, right on the face, +3. I think I've lost this game.
Well played.
Yep, we're losing the stars with the hunter, we're gaining the stars with the mage. That's not terrible. This guy is at 23. The mage, I believe, is at 54. So, trading off is a good way to grind the hunter up. We're getting him experience, and we're learning how to play the hunter better. Let's see, we're gonna try and do at least 3 more games.
You asked for it. My magic
But
will tear you
I
apart.
think I'll do, since we've seen 3 losses in the past on Hunter, we'll put him on the back burner, and instead we'll just do all mage runs to get that quest done. We'll clear the quest board. We may go an extra game or even 2 on this recording, and just hope we can get some wins in a row. We may get a automatic win right here. It's taken him a long time to pick. Maybe he lost connection. You don't see people lose connections as much as when I first started. When I first started, the way I got up to rank 18 was it would be a lost connection, then play 1 game, then a lost connection, play another game, then another lost connection. They've done a lot of back-end server stuff to make it work better. Well, it may have just been taking them a long time to ping. But it's their turn. They say it's my turn now. What's going on? I would like to know. Just start with our standard 2 mirror image, gold bordered, because I'm so leveled up. Gonna use the coin and the raid leader on the next turn. I've got a nice spell creature here for my other strategy, +1 spell damage. We'll bring him out next turn. Try to work our way up to these 7/7. These 2 7s that give +1/+1 to everything. Might get these guys up to a 3/4s. Probably won't, but might. So, throw this guy out.
Hit it very hard.
At the very least, he can use this to kill this
Job's
guy
done.
and get rid of their 2 attack. So, He'll weaken me quite a lot by killing this guy. That's 4 attack, 5 attack, gone with 1 damage. Yep. But he still hasn't been able to do anything. It's very strange. I'm gonna take advantage of that. Normally I would want to hold on to these until I got some more, but since his face is clear, he's at his 4th turn and still hasn't summoned anything.
Well played.
What is in his deck that he just can't summon anything at all?
Vaporization commencing.
I'll get him down
Job's
to
done.
16. Next turn, probably do 4 more damage to the face at least. Plus all of this.
a heat.
That's the right one to do. Let's see. Give him 2 more times. It would take him 4 attacks to get rid of that. Let's see. Split this like it is. 1. If it does 1 more to him, it would have killed him. That's fine. I have this spell in reserve to get rid of him.
Vaporization commencing.
Could not use that 1
Job's
mana,
done.
but it doesn't really matter. 2 more turns, I can bring out this +1/+1, and then all these guys will have +1 again.
Someday I'll be just like you.
Still hasn't had that creature been able to attack. Second summon. Must have tons of spells. Playing the apprentice, having all these cards in the hand. He must be holding back for some kind of strategy where he thinks he can do 30 damage in a considerable short amount of time. Let's see. I could get rid of this guy. I think
Vaporization commencing.
it's worth it. I'm afraid of these spells. I think he's just a bad player, but that's a lot of cards in your hands. He's gonna figure something out eventually. He's trying to get his spell damage up, so he could do something like that. Well,
Behold the might of storm wind.
he took out my defense there. That's kind of the problem of having 4/0/2 defenders, is 1 spell that does 2 damage gets rid of them all. But the question is, will he be able to do enough damage to me before I can do some damage to him? Is he running like a frozen deck where he's gonna just sit here and try and freeze me the whole time?
Behold the might of storm wind.
I mean, I still have my 1 damage spell. I still have this 6 damage spell I'm holding in reserve. If I can get him down to 6, I'll surprise him with the 6 damage spell and beat him right then and there. Am I gonna be frozen this next turn? I think I am. Yep. Okay, so throw this
Ready
guy
for
out.
this?
Do 1 damage here.
Job's done.
I can do 7 damage now if I can just get him down to 7. I'm at 17. He can do 8 right now. If he can keep me frozen. And he might win this. I'm really scared. That's almost to his hand maximum. And he's took the opportunity to get rid of my +1 spell, so he's at least thinking on the same lines as I'm thinking as far as his deck. Now I need to get him down to 6. He's decimated. Not actually decimated. Decimated means you killed exactly 10%. He's annihilated is the correct word. My deck. Alright, so 3, 9, 10. He can do 7 damage at the moment. We can risk it and
What
see if
to
he can
do?
kill me in the next
What
turn,
to do?
or I can play conservatively.
Job's done.
Well played.
He has 1 health. If he can take
Well
10 on
played.
this turn, he's going to win. He can take 8, I can see already. He's drawn 2 cards. Maybe he doesn't have the cards he needs. Even though he has all those cards, he must have had a ton of terrible things. He's using an Ice Lance. He must do another Ice Lance. That's gonna be it for me. That was a slightly bizarre setup for a Frozen run, but it did pay off for him. I would want that deck that he's playing to be a little better thought out, a little bit more balanced. Let's see. How many more wins do we need? I can't even read that. I think that's 2 victories. So we're not even halfway there. Let's play one more Hunter and then call this an episode. Not gonna get that one cleared. What to do? I mean, I could just keep on recording episodes all day, but then I'd have
versus Rexa.
too many. In 2 days, I'll have to come back and play some more.
Let the hunt begin.
And
I
so,
will hunt you down.
after this game, I think we'll call it. I'll come back in 2 days. We'll play a little bit more. 2 days my time. There will not be a break in your viewing. That is one benefit you get. I don't know if it's a super convenient benefit, but when playing Hearthstone yourself, you have to wait 3 days between when you clear out all the quests. All at this point have enough backlog that it'll just be one episode each day.
Job's done.
These past 3 recordings, all about gameplay. Do not believe I had much of any conversations about anything else. That'll be in the Isaac recording, probably. If I start in the morning, I've barely woken up, my brain's barely turned on. So, haven't seen a lot of things on the internet to talk about. If I do talk about any things on the internet. I think posting times are going to stay close to where they're at now. I
wonder.
could post them earlier as long as they're backlogged. Maybe I will. I don't know when. I'd like feedback on that too. Always want feedback on anything. There could definitely be lots of things going on or that I'm doing that could be improved upon, and just people, I don't even have a clue about it. So, but if I have a backlog, maybe I should post everything close to the morning. Am I the type of thing that people would want to watch while they're at work, if they could get away with watching it at work? I don't know. Some people have jobs where they can do that. Or am I something that people want to watch at 5 p.m. when they get off work? Or am I something that People want to watch at 10 p.m. right before they go to bed. There's competition between different things on all those things. If I release the videos early in the morning, I'm competing against people watching it at work. If I release it at 5 o'clock, I'm coming close to competing with
Job's
primetime
done.
TV. If people watch TV live, which still some people do that. I don't, but some people do. Um, if I'm putting out videos at 10 p.m. or later, I'm competing against people they need to go to bed and wake up for work, or need to go to bed because they got to take their kids to school or something like that. So maybe in the morning is the best time. I'm still trying to learn if I can actually schedule things to be released at a different time from when they're being uploaded. I'll play with that more today. If I can schedule things to come out, ideally, I want everything to come out at midnight London time. And it sounds a little silly. I don't live in the UK, even though my voice may sometimes lead people to think that. But I don't live in England or anywhere close to it. But London is
I've got a
minus zero on the UTC time that they use now. It used to be called Greenwich Mean Time. They're all to UTC. I think there might be some slight differences in daylight savings and all that for the name change, but it's at zero. So if I send everything out at midnight there, um, it should be
Job's done.
available to all of America by the time America wakes up. It would then roll that direction on the globe.
Don't mess with
Whether that direction, I guess that's clockwise on the globe. It'll roll west from London to all of the Americas pretty fast. It's about 4 hours, 3 hours difference on the eastern shores, and I think 6 hours on the western shores. And then it's a couple more hours to Japan and the Asias and Russia, and don't think I have much of an audience, of any audience, in those territories because I'm just speaking English. I don't speak anything else. I barely speak English well, and most people probably wouldn't even agree with that. So it wouldn't get back into another English speaking countries until you're close to Europe again and Africa, which English is the language. Well, India's official language is English. Uh, people keep often think it isn't because it's a different dialect and such, but it is.
Job's done.
So India would be the first country that I would hit in the Asias that I know of that has English as an official language. And then a lot of the Middle East countries, lots of people speak English there. Generally, almost in most countries, there's a very high rate of people who speak English and their native tongues. If it isn't English, it's just in America, North America, the United States. Let's be more accurate. The United States, that people don't bother to learn other languages. It's just not a useful enough skill. So, getting back into the Europes and Africa, it comes back around, and by the time, so everything should be pretty well released for the English speaking world. India would be, I would think, the one that would be most screwed um, releasing it at UTC 0 London time, because their wait between episodes are going to be either be a day behind and watch the episode that was uh, released before, which would be fine, or they're going to have to wait. I'm not sure what like Mumbai was or India's UTC code is, but it's got to be like 12, 14 hours, if not 20 hours difference. So if they're gonna have to wait a really long time, they're gonna get the short end of the stick at UTC. Also doing it at London time, since all the demographics at the moment are 100% pointing towards
Done.
every view so far has come from the United States, North America at least. There's a little bit of a buffer there to get it out early, so if somebody in the United States wakes up at the crack of dawn at 4 a.m. or even at like midnight for some reason, um, if that's the time they wake up is midnight, they would still have a video waiting for them. Um, there are some things on the subscription and notifications from YouTube app, so that could potentially push notifications out at midnight or um, even like 10 p.m. the day before. So maybe I won't do London time if I get feedback that says I'm getting notifications because I'm subscribed in the middle of the night. I don't want to see those. And if that's the case, I'll free apologize for that. But, so, as always, new channel, learning all of this stuff for the first time. Have to think everything through. Playing Hearthstone is a great slow-paced game where you can think things through while you're playing. So I can have a bit of a conversation here. You guys are getting not a master's class, but at the very least an apprentice class in how to broadcast and record for YouTube as I'm learning about it, because I am talking about it a lot. So neither one of us has any cards at the moment. The question is, who's gonna win, who's gonna lose?
To my side.
I think I'm gonna win. He's down to 7. I summoned a really lucky card that does +1 damage, called Beast. And so, because of that, I have got a victory as a hunter. I was gonna end the recording here, but I think I'd like a buffer to not play Hearthstone for 3 days instead of 2. Right now, if I call it quits, I'd have to come back in 2 days to optimize my challenges. So I don't want to do that. I'm gonna let this recording run long. Um, if we get really lucky, we're just gonna try and power through. We need 2 more victories. Maybe we'll get really lucky. There'll be 2 disconnects in a row, and that'll be the end. Notice how I am still looking forward to and happy with disconnects. I mean, it's a 100% cheap way to win, but it's also a quick way to win. And games on Hearthstone aren't that fast, but they aren't that slow either. They're about 15 minutes, where I would like to play a Hearthstone game that took about 7 minutes and see what that felt like.
Job's
Felt
done.
like if you had, there's lots of options they have not explored yet in Hearthstone, where they could have whole tiers where you start off with 15 health instead of 30, and those would just be quick games. Yu-Gi-Oh would do things like that as like quick games. Yu-Gi-Oh would do 3-on-3 tournaments. There are no tournaments built into Hearthstone at the moment, which is rather strange. You would think that feature would be built in. Anytime any professional, even the creators of the game, want to do a tournament, they have to make the brackets and all that stuff be run outside of the game. Why isn't that integrated? Why isn't there a 15 on 15 health quick version? Why isn't there a 3 games, first to 2 victory long version? Just features. This is relatively a new game, but not that new of a game. Not new enough that. Interesting. The counterspell card, not a card I'd ever have in my deck. Have the mirror image secret would have been nice, but I don't really need it. I've got 2 of my spell damage plus 1 cards. This is my highest spell damage plus 1 card I think I have. So I'll play the low one.
No, take candle.
Gonna attack with the Wisp, even though it's the only option. Was gonna attack with the Wisp first, just in case this new secret has something to do with attacking the face. It doesn't. My guess is it is the exact same counter spell card. So I want to keep that in mind because I want this deal $5 enemies to actually work. Well, deal 4 now. Well, I cannot summon. I don't have any cards, so let's go ahead and freeze them and see if that works. It works. So this must be some kind of immunity card. I mean, I can't think of any other card it could be because I've done damage to the face by attacking with a character, and I have done damage with a spell. So it can't be counter spell. It can't be like a trap. Gonna go ahead and summon this guy first. This guy will just get killed too fast. 5 damage. If I could get 1 more plus 1 spell damage, that'd be great. But next turn I'm gonna have 7 mana. I'm just gonna play the 5 damage. Well, it'll be 4 damage. Maybe he's playing an ice deck. Who can tell? I've got Stalag. If I can get Fugan out to here, we might get a Thaddeus run. This is one of the rarer cards. The Beast is a 6/9/7. Pretty good card. That's pretty cheap. The only thing is, when he dies, he summons a 3/3 something Finkel Einhorn. This has to do with World of Warcraft lore, I'm almost certain. And it's a 3/3 creature on your side.
What to do?
So let's go ahead and play this again. So he's got 9 attack. He's gonna do 9 damage, but hopefully I can get something that can do 3 damage to this guy. I want him off the field. He just silenced his own character so I don't get that 3/3.
Squire,
That's kind of alright.
Ready,
I
sir.
wanted the 3/3, but mostly I just want him off the field. Let's see. Push this down. Let's get rid of this one guy. Let's I have 4 damage. I'm going to have to get really lucky if it to hit this guy 3 times. Odds are not in my favor. I've got him down to 1, which would be great, but I already used the spell power. Maybe I played that wrongly. I don't think I did, but... So, we have 13 damage on the board, plus this 14 damage. I don't see any reason why I would not lose this turn. He would just have to make a colossal mistake and not count the numbers right.
I wonder.
Because you have 1 here, plus 4, that's 5, plus 9, that's 14. So why is he taking so long? He must be making a mistake. He must be thinking something incorrectly. Either that or he just doesn't want to defeat me for some reason. Could be he has a quest that is play so many spell cards. He could have a quest that says do so much damage. He could have all kinds of quests.
Time runs out on me.
I mean, what's he gonna do? That took him an incredibly long time to see something that should have been obvious. Happens a lot in the game, but that took him a really long time. Notice here that the flame is still going on in the background. It's a little bit annoying. It doesn't stop after the game. That was a mage. We got our last victory with the hunter. Just toggling back and forth. You might get a very balanced playthrough here where it's just 2 wins with the hunter and 3 wins with the mage or vice versa. I would have thought that if I was going to get 5 wins it would have been a lot
Shall be mine. Let the hunt begin.
Specific heroes versus specific heroes seem to work better sometimes, and sometimes it's the same for you. So they may have a hero that you're like, ugh, this is a sorcerer. My hunter deck can never be beaten by sorcerers. I mean, can never win against sorcerers. So when you're developing your deck, of course, you want to have the best deck you can have against every single type of hero, even if it is the situation where very few people play sorcerer. You still want to be as balanced because you never know. If you were playing some kind of special tournament and you knew who your opponent was going to be and that they always played like mage, that would be a different situation where you can make a custom deck just to fight that guy. But in the ring matches, you have no idea whatsoever of what is going to come next. Go ahead and sacrifice the boar and minimize the damage I'm going to get from that guy. His death total does 2 damage, but he also does 2 damage when he attacks your face. So it's kind of the opposite of the zombie who you can ignore 2 turns. You want that guy is gone as soon as possible. If I just had 1 more turn, see what happens next turn. Deal 3 damage to 2 random creatures. If he doesn't summon anything, that's what I'll play.
My eyes are open.
Okay, so ideally I want this guy killed and this guy killed. Doesn't really matter either way, but I'm using all of my mana to just barely hang in here. He does have the life tap ability, which is a dangerous ability to have because it costs 2 health to draw a card. So your cards better be really good if you are gonna use 2 health to get it.
The light protects me.
I've seen players use life tap to drain themselves down to 0. I've seen people accidentally click it on the last turn and kill themselves.
Job's done.
Think I can take the upper hand now. He's at 19, I'm at 14. Maybe I can win this. If he uses the life tap a lot, he'll just make it worse for himself.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
Let's see. When you summon one, draw a card. Summon one,
Job's done.
+1. Would be nice if I got another one of those. This one's give a friendly beast 2/2. I'd want to give that to this guy that's a 2/7. That way it would become a 4/9 and have taunt. Be a pretty good.
My shield for Argus.
Bit of a problem here. Doesn't really matter. That's game over for me. Add a spell. Not a particularly great sorcerer deck. Sorcerer decks have a tendency you want to have demons in them. You want to have a much higher level, more thought out thing. But he certainly beat me with that. So if he doesn't have a great deck, well then I have even a worse deck because I did not win that.
Jaina versus Uther.
I will fight with honor.
You asked for it.
Feel like I've been going 45 minutes so far. If we lose this one, and I'll think about quitting. If I lose the next one after this one, and get 2 losses in a
Well
row,
met.
I will call it for sure then. Well, I could use the coin to do 1 damage. I don't think using the coin to do 1 damage is actually a valuable enough trade-off. Next turn, I can use the coin and do mirror image.
Reporting
instead.
for duty.
Plays a minion. Here's an interesting thing they haven't thought out completely. It says when a opponent plays a minion, summon a copy of it. Now when he casts a spell that summons a minion like that, did he play a minion? Is that the correct terminology? Does that apply? Hard to tell. We
Job's
will
done.
find out, maybe. Next turn, I'll play the mirror image. If he uses this and summons it, we'll see if that gives me a mirror image of that, or if it doesn't. I'd prefer it didn't.
Reporting for duty.
This summons it. In Yu-Gi-Oh, the terminology was summon and special summon, and those meant really different things. Lots of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh would say, if your opponent summons, and then parentheses not special summons a card, you can do this. All the writing, all the wording in Hearthstone in particular has to be carefully thought out, in my opinion, or recommendation at least to the creators, because this game is played all over the world and it's localized all over the world. You could very well be playing with Russian players. You could very well be playing with Chinese-speaking players. I meant Russian-speaking players. And they'll just have the Russian version of the interface, so the cards will... The pictures will look the same, the descriptions and all that will be in their native language. I've seen some other language things, and instead of putting like the verses, which makes no sense in some languages, it just puts a big red X, because versus BS doesn't mean it the same thing everywhere.
Not on my watch.
Do 1 damage. Can I do 6? I can do this. And I can do this. That'll get rid of him. This is the same guy, so why not? And get rid of him.
Time to
And so now it's just this guy. Stalag, 2 spell damage ones. If I can get them all out and not get anybody killed. He's changing everybody's attack to 1. Let's see. I have 7. This guy will get rid of that. This guy will get rid of that. Let's toss this out here for some defense. I could do Stalag, and I think I do want to do Stalag. Now let's go ahead and throw this guy out.
Job's done.
Hopefully we'll run across some magic spells here. Next turn I'll be able to throw this out.
Reporting for duty.
Maybe that will help a little bit. Oh, we got the wisp. Definitely throw out the wisp. If I have 8, so just throw this guy out.
Ready for this?
And let's get rid of this guy. I need. Let's see.
Don't blink.
This guy. And just get rid of this guy. Just end the turn right there. Still trying to find an opportunity to bring out Stormwind Champion, the 7 mana 6/6 creature, +1/+1 to everyone else. He is in almost all my decks.
I wonder.
It's kind of expensive, but he does do a lot.
Mind if I roll need?
You notice that all the cards are pretty close to being balanced. I've not seen a lot of any card that felt like it was super overpowered on the first thought. So +1/+1 is what we want. Let's see. This guy is gonna do 2 damage to whatever I do. Wisp does not have +1 spell damage, however.
Don't blink.
this thing.
No, smash! Job's
Take
done.
the upper hand and hold on to it. Next turn I'll have a full 10. I can play both of these guys. Probably will. Let's see. That I'll play both these guys and do 1 damage. Wearing down his health. Haven't done much at all to its health so far. I mean, look, he just restored only 4 because I haven't been attacking the phase. I've been getting rid of his characters. He is definitely one of these heroes that's going to try and fill up his deck and have as many characters as possible.
The victory.
Just playing up surrendered. Sometimes I surrender, you just don't know why. Was he late for school? Did he have to go to work? Just what was going on in his head. I can feel I'm late for breakfast. I'm gonna do another mage. Stop there alternating. Try and get a victory. Try and end this recording on a positive note. I may have to end the recording after this game, no matter what.
Jaina versus Rexar.
Let the hunt begin.
You asked for it.
Yep. I'm one of those people, I don't know if there's a lot of people like me. When I wake up, I really don't feel like eating breakfast at all. And if I'm going somewhere or doing something, I mostly have to force myself to eat something that's just bland enough that I can stomach it. And I don't start really getting hungry for breakfast until about lunchtime or later. And at that point I just eat lunch instead. I'll eat a big lunch. Often I'll only eat 1 large meal a day and then a medium or snack like meal right before going to sleep. You're not supposed to do that. Any doctor will tell you for sure you're not supposed to just have a nice big heavy meal before you go to sleep because you don't burn those calories at all. And I can probably attest to that too. But if I try to go to sleep hungry, it does not work. I have to be full, or I will just not sleep at all. So that's the reason why I'm never really hungry when I wake up, because I've eaten some meal right before I went to sleep. But when I do get the hungriness, the hunger, it's becomes pretty vital to eat with at most a few minutes of that. Often I will have like a blood sugar drop type thing. So I'm not diabetic or anything like that, but it will get to the point where 1 minute I go say I'm hungry, and then 2 minutes later I say, if I don't eat something right now, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I don't get those signals in advance as much as I would like. It is definitely something I envy people that can sense the inside of their stomach and go, yeah, I'm about 50% full. I could eat, or I could wait a couple hours and eat some more. I don't get those signals. I go from I'm so stuffed I'm about to vomit to I'm starving to death I'm about to vomit. And there's nothing in between.
Job's done.
Lots of creatures here that are doing 1 damage. Not a lot. I want to get rid of this guy because he's been silenced. Well, here's a strategy used at its best. He plays the Release the Hounds card. It copies the same number of creatures that I have. And on top of that, he has the +1 attack. So instead of being 1/1s, they are 2/1s. As is often done with the Release the Hounds, it just is used to attack and kill the same creatures. So it's almost never do the Release the Hounds hit the face with all of them. But I guess if none of them were, what's the word? I don't know.
Hit it very
If
hard.
none of them had taunt, that would be the case. Still 3 to the face, freeze it. So we know that's not a counter spell. Let these guys hit my face for 2 damage, who cares? We know it's not a trap now
Hit it
because I've
very
attacked
hard.
with this. Who
Job
knows
done.
what those are? What you usually want is the other creature that gains +1 attack for every creature every beast that dies. And then when you release the hounds and you kill them all off fighting enemies, that creature is just gaining +1 attack every time. So he can get, there can be 7 on the deck. So if you have that one and you release 6 hounds and kill 6 hounds, you're talking a +6 to what I believe starts off as a 2. You'd be an 8 in a 3-card combination. Could be done in 1 turn. So we have 9 here. Let's see. Have I played Stalag already? Or was that a previous
To
game?
master.
Snipe? I guess. Well, whatever.
Well played.
I have 16. I don't think
very
he's gonna
hard.
get me down to
Job's done.
to 0 before I get him down to 0. We shall see. He's got to kind of fight this a little bit. Remember, this one is the adjacent guys have attacks. So attacking with this guy in particular and killing him would move this guy over to this guy, and doing the same does that to this guy. You want to think that through. You want to plan your moves a little bit. If I can get rid of this guy somehow, I've won in this turn. How are we gonna do this though? How are we gonna do this though? I need something that does 3 damage here. So
Behold the might of Stormwind!
let's kill this guy. And if I kill this guy, I'd lose that, and then
Hit it very hard.
hope that's the right
Job
move.
done.
That's the best I can do. I'm at 8. He can do 5. If he can do 7 at the moment. If these 2 cards can't do any damage at all, I think I've got this. But if they can do damage, I've lost. Well, that's not the victory I wanted to end this recording on. That is the loss I am gonna end it on. Unceremonious. Cliffhanger, cliffhanger, cliffhanger. I mean, it's only one more game. It's only one more game. I'm gonna try and power through the pain here. Hopefully get really lucky. Reorient myself. Oh, I want that victory. I want that extra day in which I can take a little bit of break from
versus
playing
Uther.
Hearthstone.
I will fight with honor.
You asked for it.
Good starting hand. I wonder, you don't get any statistics too. I mean, I know I'm a little critical of Hearthstone, but there is just tons of stuff they could add. Like, have I ever played J before? I mean, if I have, I would like to know. Otherwise, I'd like it right down here to say first time ever played. If I have played J before, I'd like to see the statistics of did he beat me? How much did he beat me by? Alright, so just gonna burn that mana crystal and not do anything more. Let's see, 1 damage, 4 uses.
Ready for action.
He could attack me with that if he wanted, but he won't because that would do 1 damage to him. That's fine. I'm not even really concerned about him doing that. We'll throw this guy out. This one does 2 damage to all. That should be perfectly fine. Just end the turn. Right now I'm gonna look like I don't know what I'm doing. He doesn't know the cards in my hand, so you might not actually want your mouse to hover over cards when you're playing. You probably want to take it off cards as soon as possible. That way you don't leave any impression that you've got a card you're just itching to play. You don't want anybody to figure that out. Let's see. I could split 4, and that might do 2 damage to... Best case scenario, splitting 4 would do 3 damage here and 1 to the face. This one will do 2 to the face. Well, I thought it would, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Probably not going to get anything, so let's go ahead and use that 4 right now. Not going to get another plus spell damage, for a little while at least. We got a 5th turn play, 6th turn play. We don't have a 4th turn play at the moment. So he used his last attack to attack my creature. Go ahead and give it +1 damage.
Vaporization commencing.
Could kill this guy just to protect this guy. I think I'll do that. It's a little unconventional to do that instead of just hitting the face, but I want to keep the raid leader alive. He only has 2 health. If he can't summon something with charge, he won't be able to attack. All that I've seen him do so far is summon these guys. So, 5th turn,
I got the best
we'll
deals
put him up here.
Vaporization commencing.
Same. Keep the raid leader alive. I might do that even 1 more turn. I'm hoping he summons one of these guys and then summons something else so I can play this card next turn and deal 2 damage to everything. That's not what I wanted him to summon though. 1 more turn I could do 7 damage to get rid of him, but let's see. Play this guy. Deal 3 damage to him. Gives me that. So he's down to 2 now. I'm just gonna sacrifice. Delicate balance there. I mean, I was keeping that guy for a reason. Now I'm sacrificing that guy for a different reason. Flying by the seat of my pants. If he gets a 5 another 5 thing, I can do 5 damage with that. Don't really have to.
Reporting for duty.
Actually, I think I will do 5 damage to all just to get rid of them all.
Crush! No, smash! Hit it very hard.
So next turn, throw this guy out, do 5 damage straight. Should win next turn. I'm glad this is gonna be a fast game. Highly, highly unlikely he's got any kind of like 5 card
The gate
combination
shall
that's gonna do 26 damage. So should win this right here. Five damage to the face. And 5 more damage to the face. That was great. Nice fast victory. Earned a star. Not really worried about stars because I'm gonna lose them again. Got to 60. You've seen me in this run of recordings do all 3 of the challenges. So no more quests. I'll come back in 3 days and start recording again. You don't have to wait that long. There will be no break between recordings. We may do an arena thing. I'm up to 1,015 gold, so maybe the next recording will just be an arena pick and a couple games. I think after watching the first arena recording, picking the cards, explaining what the cards do, and then doing maybe 1 or 2 games is the right thing. I want to do at least 1 game with the cards I picked. I don't want an episode to be just picking because that feels a little too skippable for a lot of people, and then I don't want people skipping episodes because then I'll say something in the episode and you won't know what I said and it just won't work out. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good day.